All right, trying this again. Apparently I had no sound last time. So here now are my top 20 books of 2020. I'm going to go in reverse this time and actually count them down like I should have done before. So here are our new titles. Number 20, Best Behavior. Picture book all about manners, hygiene, all those lovely things that toddlers and preschoolers need to work on. Number 19, Peek Inside Bug Homes. So this is one of my favorite series with lots of information for the little ones. It's a baby spittlebug. Number 18, Dr. Maggie's Grand Tour of the Solar System. There is, oops, over here, Dr. Maggie herself. So it goes through all different parts of the solar system. This is a new book, can you tell? Mission on Mercury. What is Venus like? Full color illustrations as well as photographs, so you can see exactly what is going on in space. Excuse me. Next, we have a new series from Miss Alicia Dixon, who is a hip-hop star in the UK, I have been told by Mr. Google. This is roughly 3rd to 4th grade. It is fairly thick, but she is a superhero who just got her powers, and so now she's learning how to use them, and can she defeat the evil supervillain? So this is book 1 in the series. About the same age level, but completely different topic, we have the Game Day series. This is book 1 by Patty Mills, who is an actual basketball player. And I have not read this one yet, but it is all about how Patty expects to be a great basketballer straight away, just like his Uncle Danny. But he soon discovers that there's a whole lot more to the game than just shooting hoops. So a lot of lessons in these books, it sounds like. Next, we have a new phonics reader. So this is Susanna's Bananas. And where is it? There you go. All of our phonics books now are being redone with QR codes so that you can listen to the story as well as read it. Next, we have number 14. We're moving these much quicker this time. Look, the flat questions and answers about plastic. So you see at the top we have questions. So how is plastic recycled? It talks about the sorting. Yes or no? What do all of the numbers, the recycling numbers mean? That's good information. So all kinds of answers about plastic, why we use plastic, do we need to use plastic, and how can we help our environment? Next is a picture book, number 13 on my list, Red, Red, Red. So this is about a toddler who does not get the cookie that they want, and they are angry. Red, red, red. So what do? So mom helps them calm down, starts counting. Start with me. 1, 2, 3. And they start counting and breathing so that they can calm down. And then, there it is, breathe. And then they can talk about the right way to ask for a cookie. Number 12, another picture book, The Biggest Story. If you are watching and you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. So this is about a boy who is so bored and he needs his mom to tell him a story. But mom is otherwise occupied and cannot tell him a story right this minute. So he thinks up his own story, goes outside to get inspiration for his story, and he comes up with this fantastic story full of animals and dinosaurs and all sorts of creatures. And then he enjoyed himself so much that he decides to think of another story. And so it gives prompts for children to think of their own stories. So this would be the name of the story and work on it from there. So that is The Biggest Story. Sorry about that. Let me get some water here. Next, we have number 11 on our list. The Apple of My Pie. And there's another one in the series called You Complete Me. It's got an avocado with a pit. So these are full of wordplay and love. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Next, number 10, Sophie Takes to the Skies. So this is a fictional account about the childhood of Miss Sophie Blanchard, who was a real person. She was the one of the first female aeronauts, which is a balloon pilot. And you can see it's very small, but it's perfect size for about second grade who are moving into chapter books. And it talks about how she might have gotten her start with ballooning. So this is Sophie Takes to the Skies, and that is the other title in the series. They are standalone, so you don't have to buy one before the other. Next, we have a combo. So we have a couple series, this catalog, that are combined volumes. This is actually 3 books in one. This is The Travels of Ermine. There she is in the sunglasses there. There's Ermine. And so she goes to London, Sydney, and New York in these 3 books. So it is very thick, about a 3rd grade level, but do not let this, look, there's the second book right there. Do not let it, the size of it, scare off your children, because it is 3 books in one. So look, so this would be like book 1 right there, that thickness, which is, let me see how many pages. 163. So 163 pages roughly per book. Travels of Ermine. Number 8 on my list, See Inside Atoms and Molecules. So even elementary kids these days are learning about what is an atom and learning about the insides of atoms. So this is a great companion to what they're learning these days, and about 2nd grade and up. Talks about the table of elements, as well as how different elements are categorized in different parts of the periodic table. So that is a great introduction. Next we have Lift the Flap, Biggest, Fastest, Tallest. So if your kid loves records, world records, things like that, this is fabulous for them. So, for example, who is the fastest man as of this printing? It is Usain Bolt, and my phone is ringing. Let's decline that for now. How many times do people actually call you these days? There it is, Mr. Usain Bolt. We'll see during the Olympics if he is still the fastest man after this. Talks about the strongest. And then at the back, there's random records that you wouldn't think about, such as the oldest prosthetic wooden toe. Look at that. Where am I at here? Next, number 6 on my list. We have now a girl heroine and a graphic novel. This is Alice in Wonderland. So you can see it's got all the literary characters, just like in the actual book, but in graphic novel format for kids who are a little bit more reluctant to pick up the classic itself. This is a great way to get them interested in, just like any of our other graphic novels, Thor, the Odyssey, things like that. Oops, wrong one. Next, number 5. So this is actually a box set. So our beginners books of history. There we go. So it comes with all of these books, and only the Maya is one that we currently have in print individually. So all of these are great titles. If you're learning about different periods of time, then you can look at that. And it's definitely much cheaper to buy them in a box than it would be individually anyway. Okay, number 4 on my list is another series, but I'm just going to show you one. So this is the first book in the series, and these are also combined volumes. So this is the 6 Chelsie Walk series. Each series, or each book in the series, is about a specific time period, and it's got 2 books in it. So it's talking about fictional girls who lived in this real life house in London during different time periods. So it talks about things like suffrage, it talks about World War, and what they might have gone through living in that particular house in London during that time period. So those are those 2 right there. Number 3, History Uncovered, the USA, which I hope means that they will have more history uncovered later. But if you can see, there's little cutouts there. So every page has some 3D cutouts. So it starts here with the 13 colonies and the history of our independence. And it goes from there. So after that, how did we add more states? It talks about famous people of the time, exploring new land. And then all the way at the end, you have this nice snapshot of all the people who contributed to our nation's history. Not all the people, but all the people they mentioned here. As well as things like, could we ever expand into 51 states or more? So this is History Uncovered. Number 2, Beast Feast from the author of Nibbles as well as Dragon Post. This one is in the same format as Dragon Post. So Beast happens to catch himself some dinner. But dinner does not want to be eaten, if you can imagine. So he comes up with all of these creative ways to get out of being eaten. And so Beast sends letters out to all of his beastie friends, explaining that they should come over for whatever reason dinner has decided. And if you know Dragon Post, that one had all the letters in little envelopes that you pulled out. This time, all of the letters are, sorry, hit my microphone there. All of the letters are part of the page and just open right there. So you can't lose the letters this time and less chance of them being torn. So that's fabulous that they thought of it this time. Beast Feast. And our number 1, my number 1, you might have your own number 1, but this is my number 1 of new titles for this catalog, top 20 of 2020. My number 1 is the Extraordinary Lives collection. So there are 6 biographies in this collection. They are all illustrated with quotes from the individual. I just passed one right there. Let's see what that one says. I believe there is only one race, the human race, by Rosa Parks. Oh, and there's my Roomba about to start. We will get back to you, Roomba. So there are 6 books in the total collection. Rosa, Stephen Hawking, Neil Armstrong, Anne Frank, and I didn't grab them, but there is also Katherine Johnson and Malala. So this whole series, because I could pick just one, is my top because it's a great way to introduce kids to, one, the concept of reading a biography, nonfiction, is in kind of a chapter book format, kind of. It's got lots of illustrations though, and just a great way to bridge that gap between picture book biographies and chapter books. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully everyone could hear it this time. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions on any of these titles or any of the other ones that I didn't show because, man, they didn't make my top 20 countdown. All right, thank you, everybody. Bye.